Hello, grade 4 students. This is lesson 21, The World According to Humphrey. Objectives: unlock vocabulary words based on context and use them in sentences. Recognize fantasy fiction and identify the theme of a literary work. And last, demonstrate reading fluency and comprehension skills. So let's begin with vocabulary. One is appreciate. Many people highly value or appreciate their pets, like this girl in the photo who loves her cat very much. So appreciate in this sentence means to highly value something or to see what is good about something. Two is blaring. If a dog barks at loud, blaring noises, it should be trained not to do that. So the meaning of blaring is loud or to make a loud noise. Three is combination. People may feel a combination of love for and frustration with their pets. Okay, you would see in the photo, pets are really adorable, but then sometimes they could cause a lot of trouble, right? So combination means a mixture, okay, of something or parts of something that you put together. Four is promptly. If a dog needs to go out, it should be taken out promptly or right away. So you already see the definition of the word promptly in the sentence itself, which is right away, okay, or urgently. Five is introduce. You should carefully introduce a new pet to the other pets in your house. Otherwise, a big fight will ensue. Okay, so introduce means to present something. Six is nocturnal. Some pets, such as cats and hamsters, are nocturnal. They're most active at night. So nocturnal, based on the definition you have in the sentence, would be most active at night or very much awake at night. So you can think about other nocturnal animals that you know apart from cats and hamsters. Seven, feats. Many people enjoy teaching their pets to perform tricks and other feats of skill, like catching frisbees, for example. This is not a simple task, so it requires a lot of training. So feats would mean difficult or challenging actions. Eight is effort. It takes effort or hard work to care for a pet, no matter what kind of animal it is. So effort means hard work. Nine is suggest. Experts suggest or recommend that people remain calm when training a pet because it would help them learn. So to suggest or to recommend means to give an idea. 10 is racket. Some pet birds can talk, but they can also create a loud racket by screaming. So when you say racket, you mean a loud noise, okay? So you have the clue screaming, like this screaming parrot right here. Objectives: unlock vocabulary words based on context and use them in sentences. Recognize fantasy fiction and identify the theme of a literary work. And last, demonstrate reading fluency and comprehension skills. Now, moving on, let's talk about genre. Okay, so our story, The World According to Humphrey, is a fantasy story. It's an imaginative story that may have unrealistic characters and events. So, as you read, you have to look for the following features: story events or settings that could not happen in real life, and characters who behave in unrealistic ways. So, you have in here some samples of titles under the fantasy fiction genre. Okay, so you have dragons, you have children with superpower on board a mission to save the earth. Okay, you have warriors, you have princesses. Okay, although princesses are real, okay, these princesses might have characteristics, okay, that might set them apart from usual people. Okay, and of course, the very famous Harry Potter is also under the fantasy fiction genre. So now let's discuss The World According to Humphrey by Betty G. Burney, and the selection was illustrated by Terry Farrell Giddings. Essential question: how can media be a distraction? So what do we actually mean by media? So when you say media, you don't only mean television, okay? You also mean the internet, okay? Social media platforms, YouTube, okay? And other platforms that provide us with information or provide us with entertainment. So sometimes they can be useful, but sometimes they can distract us. So in what way can media be a distraction? Now, to be able to answer that essential question, let's go through the summary of The World According to Humphrey. So the entire story can be accessed in e-resources in EIS portal, so be sure to check that out. It was AJ's turn to take care of the class hamster, Humphrey. AJ got to take Humphrey home for the weekend. Humphrey soon saw why AJ was so loud in school. His house was very noisy. The blaring TV was always in the background. AJ's mom played the radio and talked on the phone a lot. People in the house, or everyone in the house, screamed so they could be heard. All the racket bothered Humphrey. Humphrey didn't usually mind watching TV at the other kids' houses. The difference at AJ's house was that the television was never turned off. Humphrey wanted some sleep. He decided he had to change things. The next day, while everyone was watching the football game on TV, Humphrey went into action. He promptly left his cage and ran behind the television. With great effort, he pulled out the plug. The house became silent. The family thought the TV was broken and didn't know how to fix it, so they all learned to play games and go outside. They told stories and talked to each other. AJ's parents learned to appreciate the quiet. When they found out the television was just unplugged, AJ's parents smiled. They decided not to tell the kids. It would be their little secret for a while. Okay, first let's talk about how this could pass for a fantasy fiction story. Obviously, the hamster could not get the idea of unplugging the television, right, from its socket. So that in itself is something impossible that could only happen in, in literature, okay, or in a fantasy fiction piece of work. Okay, now talking about the theme, how can media be a distraction? So as you can see, AJ in school is very loud. It's because he's always distracted with all the things happening around him, especially TV and radio and the phone, right? So that was his mom also talking on the phone. So they see that being done by their parents, so they tend to emulate, okay, or to imitate what their parents are doing. So they learned the lesson after Humphrey unplugged the television that it's possible to entertain themselves by playing games and going outside. And also, it's important for family members to talk to each other, communicate with each other, and tell stories. So we can say that the theme of this selection would be to learn how to appreciate the quiet, that's one, and also to make sure that you have enough of everything, okay? No, not too much TV, not too much phone, not too much radio. So make sure that you also have time for your family. Check out more about this lesson by downloading the book from eResources, Journeys 2017. Thank you for watching this recorded lesson, and I will see you in the next video.